my name's Ace, and I'm an actor-producer. I task primarily out of the Atlanta market. A little about me, I was trained as an electrician in the early 2000s, and I realized Taskrabbit would be a great resource for me to put to use some of my old skills and knowledge while earning some money on the side with a schedule that I was fully in control of. For the majority of my 8 years on the platform, I was servicing one of our largest markets in Los Angeles before relocating our family and careers so that we could be fully bi-coastal in the entertainment industry. That brings me to today. A few weeks ago, my TSA associate, Sam Holt, reached out to see if I had any interest in participating in today's event. He put me in touch with Morgan, who you'll hear more from later, and we chatted for a while about my time on the platform, but also some of the more recent challenges I personally felt as a use of the platform. Now, I want to say I've been listening closely to what's been shared. I'm really excited to hear about some of these features coming up. And more importantly, I'm excited to see them roll out and see how they elevate the platform for both clients, but also for us, right, the taskers. Over the next few minutes, I wanted to discuss a few topics of interest to me based off my experience using Taskrabbit. Issue of category overlap and how I've learned to make that work for me. For example, yard work and removal, one category, but two different specific services. There's also what I found to be some limitations in what a client is being advertised in terms of tasker information, information you take time to put in your profile that they may not always see depending on what digital platform they're using. Also, client satisfaction, helping them navigate through Taskrabbit, which in my view becomes beneficial to us all in the bigger picture. And lastly, the most important, because I feel this ties together everything to help address these challenges, is just simple communication and teamwork. While Morgan and I chatted to discuss my involvement today, there were two things that came up consistently, which kind of led to this chosen theme. One is my personal drive to be a team player, which I just think stems from growing up an athlete. The other, as I mentioned, is the importance of communication and how, in my eyes, just so many successes and failures are a result of the communication established, for better or worse. I think it's pretty clear that the platform is a merging of information, needs, wants between the client and tasker. So yeah, communication is essential in my opinion. Sometimes I've had to get really creative about how I'm communicating information because we know that the platform has some limitations that have to be navigated on both sides. For example, going back to category overlap. Now, let's take the yard work and removal category, for example. I have this category enabled, but until I moved into our current home, I didn't have room for the equipment needed to do yard work, so I didn't service that. I do, however, have a pickup truck. I do a lot of moving related work, which can sometimes include the hauling of trash or recycling, which is a service tied into the yard work category. Now, I've taken the time to write in my profile what I service specifically, but there are plenty of times where I receive requests for yard work. Someone wanted me to come cut their grass. Could be user error. The client may not have read it. They just assumed based on the task category that they were going to find somebody. And they also may not have been presented with all of the info I listed, again, because they were using an Apple device, a Droid, or desktop, or web browser. You get the idea. The easiest thing would be for me to send a chat that says, sorry, I don't cut grass, says that in my profile, and then forfeit. Time's money, right? I understand that. But I personally don't find that helpful for anyone. I think it's beneficial for the long term that the client understands the platform fully. And I know and I trust that that comes back to help me and you down the road. So instead of forfeiting, I'd like to take some time to explain that unfortunately Taskrabbit combines two separate services, and I don't personally service the one side that you need help with. I let them know that and remind them that to take a peek at the information the tasker provides in case they are able to view that, and they may get some more info on what's being offered. Now, as a first-time client, there are a few steps to navigate. If you haven't checked that out from the client side, do so. But they have to take a few steps before they're even presented with the list that we all hope to be on, right? The one that they see. And then they have to do their research to decide who who fits what they need. Now, if they just chose someone who quickly forfeited, they just might find it easier to seek an alternative way to get the help they want. Or they may try again and just repeat the same thing and end up with another person like me who does not service yard work, all because they just were not made aware of this overlap. Now, I think it's fair to say this is something that is frustrating for all parties, especially for us. We want those requests, and then you get it and you see that, oh, this is for something that not only I not do, but I stated I don't do. Another thing I do, time permitting, is to do a quick search for the taskers that are available on the client app. And I guess this is where the team aspect player kicks in for me. I first look to see if there's anybody that I personally know and trust that I would refer. And if I don't know someone, I'll just keep scrolling to see who I may hire if it was me that needed the help. Now, this is where you kind of have to get creative because of the platform's design. It would be great if there was a way to just copy so-and-so's link and send it to the client, but that's not available from that screen or anywhere that I've found. So I just take screen grabs and names and I send that to the client and hope it works out. Hopefully this is a temporary workaround. Now, this extra effort always leaves the client not only informed, but grateful. Numerous times I've been offered tips and they've even suggested I bill them for an hour's time because I went above and beyond. Instead, I personally find it more valuable to just share my profile, and I'll detail some of the other things that I do service in case they need some other work done. And again, they may not also know that I service those things. This in particular has been very beneficial to me, as I've had a few of those almost canceled or almost forfeited tasks become a different job that I can then fulfill for them. In fact, it's also a great common practice for anytime someone sends me help, for example, a moving job. I let them know that I also assemble furniture, I can hang art, mount TVs, or any of the other numerous moving related tasks that pop up, which also has led to repeat business. But more importantly, that extra communication has really shown that it's helped me to establish a great rapport with the client, and that pays off in the long run big time. There's repeat business, there's referrals, and let's just look at it simply. They had a good experience on the platform, which I think comes back to help us all. That's not to say communication will solve everything. Sometimes it's as simple as, we know, a client just not taking the time to read the info or caring. So they just fire off multiple requests. Whichever task responds and accepts, they go with and cancel the rest. If you've been on the platform long enough, I'm sure you've experienced that, or whether you knew it or not, that's what was happening sometimes. As I wrap this up, I just want to thank you for listening. Hope that you, like me, will be keeping an eye out on all the new things that are going to be rolling out and making sure that everything seems like we're being communicated with to make sure that the platform continues to grow, to help you navigate your own personal Taskrabbit goals. Thanks again for your time, and enjoy the rest of the talkback.
Thank you so much, Ace, for sharing these great tips. We do have one question from the audience for you. I hope you don't mind answering.
No.
So what they write is, Ace, I work as an actor / filmmaker as well. How do you balance and build both businesses?
Good question. And I guess I always viewed my career as an actor and filmmaker and producer, that's just first, in my opinion. Everything else supports that. Like I said, when I came back to discovering Taskrabbit, it actually was during a time I was getting married and we were looking for extra ways just to have some more cushion money for our honeymoon. But I also then realized, oh yeah, it's a really flexible system, and I'm in control of it. I work the hours that I want to work, or I set that availability around that. And I guess it just boils down to your own personal drive and goals within, what you're looking to achieve as I guess an actor and filmmaker. Because I just have always been somebody that I never had a backup plan. I just let everything support what I was aiming for. And I just worked really hard on Taskrabbit because I knew that would provide me with a way to be more comfortable as I'm pursuing my other ventures. And there are times where I'm not tasking for months because I've been able to pursue a job, or sometimes I'll get coaching on certain acting roles because I've built up enough money doing Taskrabbit type work to support that, where in the past maybe I wasn't able to. So I think it's just about really evaluating what you want and what's important to you, and finding out how you make this work for you. I find that clients that I've had who understand what I do, or just understand time management, are usually accommodating if something pops up that you just can't work around or wiggle around your schedule. And again, it's just communication. Some people will just cancel and get out of it and take the ding, but I'll take the time to explain, what's going on, give them what my availability is moving forward. And oftentimes they're like, oh yeah, I work from home, or whatever, that, it's something that has happened in the backyard. You can access it there. They're usually pretty accommodating, I find. So just, again, communication, just reach out to whatever the issue may be and whoever it may be with, and see what you can figure out, and just keep grinding away at both, and good luck with the rest of it.